ABC Jack here. It is that time of year again, our favorite time of the year. It's time for Vinyl Tag 2026. My good buddy David Atkinson, his channel is David Atkinson Music and More, has put together 20 questions, and they are a bunch of toughies. Some of them require you to show records, other ones are just basically opinions and thoughts. David is a good friend of mine. Last summer, I went to the MGK Keg Bash, and David was stuck in a car with myself and Brian from Embryonic Robot for 3 days. We went down together from Toronto to Buffalo and then back to Toronto. We had a great time. David's a great guy, very witty, very thoughtful, and I'm thankful for him putting these questions together. Now, last year there was a controversy because Edwin from Pretty Green Vinyl Guy put out the vinyl tag before January 1st, which is the traditional time when these questions get put out. David's put those questions out on December 14th. So, I don't really care about when the questions come out, whether they're early or they're late. I'm just happy to do them because it's a fun time to do a video and put your mind to these questions. Like I said, they're toughies. So let's just get on with it. Question number 1. Show your best vinyl purchase of 2025. Now, the way I interpret that question is show a new release from 2025 that you've purchased. Well, this is probably the only album from 2025 that I've purchased. I've shown it before. This is Patterson Hood's album called Exploding Trees and Airplane Screams. Patterson Hood, of course, is one of the main songwriters for the Drive-By Truckers, which is one of my favorite bands ever. I am going to show some other Drive-By Trucker related stuff later on for some of the other questions. But this is just a great record, a little bit piano driven, not as hard rocking as the Drive-By Truckers can be, but a fantastic record. He's got help from Lydia Lovelace on here, Waxahachie, and the band Wednesday. Fantastic record. So happy for him to finally release a solo record. I think the last record he released was of an album called I Murdered Oscar from about 2010, I would say, 2008, but much anticipated and well worth the wait. So Patterson Hood from the Drive-By Truckers. I'm going to be quite careful with these questions. I always screw these questions up. And if you don't have your records in order, it's easy to get lost. And then once you try and fix it up, you just blown the whole show. Next question. Share your favorite live musical experience of 2025. Well, I saw the Drive-By Truckers with Brian Fitz Electric Bar this past summer. I saw AC/DC in the past summer, and I saw ZZ Top. But those were good at musical experiences, but they weren't the best. The best was when I went to see Emily Steele and The Deal, Ottawa Blues Fest. I've talked about this before. And the reason it was so special is my son plays bass guitar in this band. They are not dedicated musicians, professional musicians that do nothing but music. They all have day jobs, but they're all excellent musicians. Emily Steele is a great songwriter. Kind of indie, country, folk, alt music, but it was just such a pleasure to finally see my son in a professional band in a very, very small hall, great venue. It was just a pleasure to see them. I dropped a clip of these guys playing on one of my earlier videos. Check it out if you can. The album is called Cut the Deck, and it's a good one. Emily Steele herself gifted me this record, so thank you, Emily. That was my favorite musical experience for 2025. Number 3, your vinyl collection in 10 years. Bigger, smaller, or the same? Well, I would like to say smaller, but I think I'd be lying if I said that. I'm going to say slightly bigger because I do have room for more records. I am conscious about I'm not going to be in this room forever. We are going to move on at some time in the next couple of years, probably get a smaller place. But one of the conditions about getting a smaller place is that I have my own dedicated music spot so that I don't have to just drastically downsize. But I would say that I do need to cull my records, make them smaller. So I just know myself that I love buying records. There's nothing better than bringing back a stack of 15 or 20 records that you picked up at a record fair or a boot sale or anything like that. So I'm going to be pretty honest and say my record collection is probably going to be a little more expansive, but not by much. I'm not going to double it or triple it. I'd love to, but that's just not realistic. So that is question number 3. Okay, number 4. You move into a new home. Your first play turned up to 11. Turned up to 11. Why? Well, I think no explanation necessary. London Calling. 4 sides of just fantastic music. I hope that when I move into this new home, my wife has gone out to do some shopping or something, because I can't play music at 11 with my wife in the house. Maybe like a lot of you, if partners, etc., etc. Anyways, fantastic record. Just bangers on here. Musical genres all over the place, and this is their third record, their third album, double record, at the height of their power, I think. Fantastic stuff. London Calling. Number 5, 2 albums. One for your favorite male and female artists. Why? Well, my favorite female artist, I think, is, I'm going to say Sandy Denny. She's got such an amazing voice. It's got such a timbre. She knows how to use her vibrato. She's never really hysterical. She doesn't go full tilt. She knows exactly how to modulate her voice to get the maximum emotional power out of it. She's a good songwriter, and she knows how to pick other people's songs that she can really do a workover on here. And this album is the North Star Grassmen and the Ravens. I think it's her second record. I don't have a date on this, but I'm going to guess and say about 1972. She's done fantastic work with Fairport Convention, of course, and the short-lived Fathering Gay with Trevor Lucas. Fantastic singer, unique, in a class by herself. Of course, there's many, many female singers that I love. Joni Mitchell. I could go on and on because I've got a lot of female artists in my collection, but Sandy Denny is my favorite, bar none. My favorite male singer, well, I've got to go back to the beginning. It's got to be John Lennon. He's my favorite singer in the Beatles. Love his nasally, kind of grittier voice. Paul McCartney, of course, is a great singer. George is a great singer, and Ringo, for that matter, is a great singer. But John is such a distinctive voice. Love this Rubber Soul album. I've always wanted to have a suede jacket like John's wearing in this picture. Never managed to do that, but John Lennon, my favorite male vocalist amongst many, many, many singers. But you got to choose. You got to answer the questions, and they're hard. Number 6, show your 3 favorite soul dance records. Well, when these questions ask me to do my favorite, like I'm not really that personality to have a favorite. It's just one of the many artists that I really, really enjoy, and I can listen to it at any time. So, soul records. Well, not really a soul record. This is a reggae album. I've shown this before. This is by Burning Spear. The album is Marcus Garvey. It's on Island Records. It is from 1974, I believe. Fantastic. Winston Rodney is the lead singer. He is Mr. Burning Spear himself. I've seen these guys in concert at the Commodore in Vancouver many, many years ago. Just a fantastic experience. These guys are not light and cheerful, for example, like Bob Marley and the Wailers. Not that Bob Marley and the Wailers are light and cheerful all the time, but they were compared to Burning Spear, very much a pop reggae band. These guys are dark, mysterious, and when you're listening to this, you can just feel yourself in the Blue Mountains in Jamaica. Fantastic record. Burning Spear. That's a must for anybody that is loves reggae and you have a reggae collection. If you don't have that, you've got to find a copy of that. A little bit of a guilty pleasure, back to the disco days. I used to hate disco music. I never liked this artist, but I have just fallen in love with this guy. It's my guilty pleasure, Barry White. And the album is called Stone Gone. This guy's a brilliant pianist, brilliant arranger. They usually has like 4 or 5 guitarists on each track. He just builds up. He's got a great voice. He's a little comical in times because he likes to do a kind of he likes to talk in his intros and while he brings the song up. But once he starts into the song, fantastic singer, great baritone voice, the late great Barry White. Finally, a little saucy female singer. Saucy, she's Bawdy as in Bawdy, Millie Jackson. This one is called Live and Outrageous. It's rated XXX, and she is a fine soul and funk singer. Still going. She's had a long career. X-rated songs. Not all of them are X-rated, but there's enough. This is adult material for sure. And you ever watch an interview with this gal? She knows how to give a great interview as well. So Millie Jackson, Live and Outrageous from do I have a date here? No, I do not have it. No, 1982. Next question. A real stinker. Nominate a track from an album I can't even read my own writing here. That you nominate a stinker from an album that you love. Here we go. I got the question out here. And why the hate? Well, I'm going to pick this Double White record. Of course, in the Beatles, 1969. Fine record, many, many fine tracks on here. Of course, a lot of people would say Revolution Number 9. Well, I don't pick Revolution Number 9 because that's on side 4, and you can just, like, if you don't like that song, you can just skip it. But the song that I do not like is, what did I write down here? Honey Pie. I just cannot stand that song. That's just like a little throwaway song. I know I'm going to upset a lot of people who love Paul McCartney and those little ditties that he threw in there. Another song that I don't like on there is Obli Da. Obli Dee, Obli Da. Now, I love those songs when I was 14 when this record came out, but I have grown to really, really not like those songs. So sorry for if I'm hurting your feelings, but that's my answer. Honey Pie. Paul McCartney's little ditty. Okay, pick an album from each of the last 6 decades, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, zeros, and the 10s. Okay, from the 60s, I don't know, Blonde on Blonde. Fantastic. Don't have to say anything more about that. 1965. Is it 1965 or 1966? Probably 1966, but just fantastic, double record, groundbreaking. If he didn't release this and the previous 2 records, then the Beatles would still be singing I Love You, and the Stones would still be doing blues covers. The 1970s. Well, this one is not from the early 70s, the mid-70s, but it just came in 1979. This is Public Image Limited. John Lydon's band. It's called Second Edition. It gets shown in the VC a lot because people have the tin can. Well, I don't have the tin can. I just have the vinyl release, double-sided record. Fantastic. I love Public Image, so really, really different from the stuff, most of the stuff in the 70s that I like, because we're just moving out of that decade and changes are on the way. The 80s, one of my favorite artists, David Sylvian from Japan. This is from it was recorded in 1983, 1984. The album's called Brilliant Trees. Love his voice. He's a little experimental on this record, and love Japan's albums. Big David Sylvian fan. Anytime I see something that I don't have, I just grab it. Fantastic record from 1984. Virgin Records. In the 90s, a band that I owe a debt of gratitude to Steve A is for Alice, B is for Bob, North Carolina vinyl picker, my buddy Art, the Big Chief, for turning me on to Porcupine Tree. This is from 1992. This is a reissue, and this is called On the Sunday of Life. Great prog band, of course. It is remastered by Steve Wilson, who is the founder and driver behind this band. So from the 90s, Porcupine Tree. From the 2000s, getting back to the Drive-By Truckers, this is from 2000, and I think it's 2000 and, just let me see, 2003. An album that they made their name on, really. This is called Southern Rock Opera. They toured this album the last year and a half. It's a fantastic record. This first Drive-By Truckers album I bought, just fell in love with them. 3-guitar attack, Southern rock, alt country, all sorts of influences on there. Great songwriting. Patterson Hood, Mike Cooley, Jason Isbell was a member of the band for a while. And yeah, just fantastic stuff. I don't love every song they've done, but they do more good songs than they do bad songs. So the Drive-By Truckers from the 2000s. And the 2010s, another alt country southern rock band, I guess. The old 97s called Most Messed Up, released in 2014. Old 97s, this is a good one. This is just a single record, but love this record. The old 97s. And as an extra bonus, going above and beyond music from the 2020s, this is the last release from the Psychedelic Furs, released in 2020. This is Made of Rain. Fantastic, fantastic record. Post-punk, whatever post-punk is, I guess they epitomize post-punk. And this is a double record. Hopefully they release another record soon. We're due for one. And I know my buddy Mike, MGK Boston, went to see these guys in the summer. So I was really envious. I never got to see that tour because they did not make a stop close to me. Next, you get to spend a day with one artist. Who would that artist be? And, okay, two-parted question, really. I guess that I would like to spend a day with this guy over here, Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones. This is a comp from a British comp called No Stone Unturned. Keith, because he just seems to be, I know that he's kind of turned into this kindly, funny, gregarious, kind of grandpa figure. He's got nothing left to lose. But I've watched interviews, the rare interviews that have been released on YouTube from early in his career, and he's always thoughtful. He's always polite. He's, even when the most mundane questions are being asked, he's always a gentleman. And I think he said, like, if you answer the question truthfully, you never have to remember your lies. So just answer the question the best you can. Tell the truth, and you'll never be caught up in a lie. So there's a lot to be said for that. Next question. And if you met Keith Richards, what would be your must-ask question? Well, I don't think I would have a question. I don't want to ask him about the famous raid at his home in Redlands. I don't want to ask him the chocolate bar question. I would just turn it into a discussion about what his biggest influences have been as his musical heroes, and moreover, what musicians that are still playing today that he does most admire. So it would just be like a talk with one of my buddies here on the VC. Not a question that's a burning question, just turn it into a discussion. Number 11. I'm just making sure that I don't miss any of these questions. Show a record that contains the track that always brings a tear to your eye. Or are you a heartless bastard? Well, I'm pretty much a heartless bastard, so there's not too many songs that bring a tear to my eye, but I am a sensitive person, and there are songs that mean a lot to me. And I'm going to show a Beatles record talking about the Beatles. Big influence in my life, and some people consider this the best record ever recorded. I'm not too sure about that, but the song that really makes me feel something is "She's Leaving Home." Beautiful song by Paul, about misunderstanding and a house full of silence. Woman just leaving her family, and mom and dad don't know why. Of course, I don't have to explain the song to you. I'm sure everybody knows it. Just a beautiful song. So, She's Leaving Home by the Beatles. Show 3 albums from an artist you've tried and tried to love, but you're questioning why you've bothered. Well, I don't have 3 albums by this band, and I just got this record as part of a collection maybe about a year and a half ago, but I know I'm going to upset a lot of people, but it is the Police. Now, I admit that they are fine craftsmen. They're great in the studio. They're great musicians, but there's just something about them that I just don't like. First of all, I don't like Sting's voice. And I find that they do too many, they do too many songs in the reggae genre. I think that just white artists should just leave the reggae to maybe people from Jamaica or around the world. I'm going to walk that back a little bit, but you know what I'm talking about. Somebody more authentic. But it's not that I'm never going to pick up another Police album. If I find one in good nick at the right price and I'm in the right place, maybe I'll try another one. Like I said, I know people love them. They're just not for me. Show an album from an artist whose character disappoints you, or can you separate the artist from the art? Generally, I can separate the artist from the art. I mean, a lot of artists are very political, and they don't have any expertise in policy or I mean, they're just going from the heart, and they make it into a black and white world. So I don't really, I've never been influenced by any artists from their political stance, but the person that I'm talking about, and not only for his politics, but this is The Wall by Pink Floyd, and of course I'm talking about Roger Waters. Like, what is wrong with that guy? Is like he's got a big chip on his shoulder. He goes on and on and on about his role, and never gotten the recognition that he deserves, which I disagree with. But it's got to the point where his disagreements about the band and David Gilmour's disagreements with Roger Waters, and it's just kind of actually spoiled listening to Pink Floyd for me. So that is the person that sort of gets up my nose a little bit. There's other artists as well, but this is the one I've kind of settled on. I have to answer the question, so I'm going to say Roger Waters. Flipping the page, folks. This is going to be a long one. If you had to sell all your vinyl along with your record player, show the one album you would keep as a keepsake. I've been thinking about getting rid of my whole record collection before I expire, because I don't want to burden my family with getting rid of all these things. Plus, I would roll over my grave if they didn't get a pretty penny for them. But anyways, the one record, I've already shown this, the one record that I would keep just for purely sentimental reasons is going back to this Emily Steele and the Deal. Cut the Deck, because my son's on it, and it is really the only personal record that I have, a personal record like that. All my other records are vastly impersonal. I mean, I love them, and I had a lot of fun finding them and discovering them, but this one is the only personal record I have. So there you go, Emily Steele and the Deal. And I wouldn't just keep it in the cupboard. I would get one of those nice little frames and put it on the wall, because it's a nice little cover. The artwork is great on there. I've met the artist who did the artwork as well. Discuss your VC highlights of 2025. Well, without a doubt, had to be Mike Kelly's party, MGK Boston in Buffalo this past summer. There was 16 or 17 VC creators there. Some of them I've met the previous summer, some new. Got to spend a lot of time, like I said, with Brian and David. We had a fantastic time. Mike and Patty are great hosts. I've talked about this before. It's hard to beat an experience like that. Going again next summer. He's already got a date. I will be there for sure. Hopefully there'll be a lot of returnees and a lot of new people that I haven't met yet. And I have been very fortunate. I've met about, I would say, 25 to 30 people in the VC. And what you see is what you get. If you think that people are different from what you see in the camera, you're totally wrong. They're just like I said, what you see is what you get. Fantastic experience, and get to do some record shopping, some sightseeing, get to talk about life, go out for dinner, and it was just a great time. So thanks, Mike and Patty, for that. Looking forward to next year. Give three oh no, hold on. I'm skipping number 16. Name your favorite musical biopic if you have one. I am not big on the musical biopics that are coming out with, the Elton John thing. There was the Queen thing. Now there was the Bob Dylan thing, and now there is the Bruce Springsteen thing. Now they're fine for entertainment purposes, but I kind of think that a lot of people feel that those are reflections of what actually happened, and they're just creations of a film writer's project to get something on the screen. And anyways, it's not my thing, but I'm going to answer the question, and I'm going to go back way in time to about in the 1980s, and Clint Eastwood did a biopic on Charlie Bird just called Bird. And that was one of the first biopics that I can think of, and it reflects Clint Eastwood's love of jazz. He's a huge jazz fan, and it was really well done. Great acting in it. I haven't seen it, and I've only seen it the once. I'd love to see it again. So there's my answer, Bird by Clint Eastwood. Give 3 reasons why jazz matters and show a favorite. Steve had a little contest, Steve from A is for Alice, B is for Bob, etc., and the question was, does jazz suck? So we had a little contest, and I answered the question, said, no, jazz does not suck. And why doesn't it suck? Well, it's an American art form. It's truly an American art form that's been exported throughout the world. It's had huge impact all throughout the world. It's really a very, very unique art form. It's almost parallels classical music, and it's just as influential in my view. There's so many musical directions that jazz takes, from big bands to solo pianists to hard bop to electronic fusion, etc., etc. So for those reasons, I think jazz is fantastic. I don't have enough jazz albums. I don't think you can ever have enough jazz albums. I don't have enough space for more jazz albums over there. I'm just looking at my jazz collection. And jazz is an expensive hobby to follow for sure. And if I'm going to show a jazz album just to show its diversity, I'm going to show one of my favorite jazz albums. And it's not Miles Davis, it's not Thelonious Monk, although I love those artists. It's Herbie Hancock's groundbreaking. Maybe I'll walk back groundbreaking. It's his album Headhunters. And Herbie Hancock played with Miles Davis, who was really the groundbreaker in electronic jazz, funk fusion with Butch's Brew, etc., and all the albums that he did subsequent to that. But people think that Bitches Brew was the biggest selling jazz album of all time, and that is totally untrue. This used to be the biggest selling jazz album of all time, and it was released in 1970. Just a second here. I want to make sure I get the date right. 1973, like I thought. And fantastic jazz fusion album. Different direction from Herbie, totally different album, different direction for him. Uh, this was the biggest selling record until Kenny G released, I don't even know the title. I don't even consider Kenny G to be a jazz artist. Like, don't get me started on Kenny G and his curly hair. Love Herbie Hancock. If you like jazz fusion, if you like it slowed down a little bit, fantastic record. And yeah, love jazz. Pick it up as long as the price is right. Question answer. Number 18. We're coming up to the end, people. You're an innocent man or woman on death row. They give you a last musical request. What do you ask for? Well, if you're on death row, I gotta go back to one of my favorite artists, Bob Dylan, of course. And talking about songs about death row, Hurricane, first title, the first track on side one about Hurricane Carter is all about death row and an innocent man being convicted. Now that's up for debate. Hurricane Carter did end up getting released from jail, and I don't want to get into all that, but just a great album. That song is fantastic, and the rest of the album is Isis, Mozambique, One More Cup of Coffee, Oh Sister, Joey's on there. I mean, just a fantastic record. And if this is the last record you ever hear, it would be a good one. Failing that, I would ask for Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde. Maybe more, I wouldn't say a better choice on death row, but maybe a better choice in that it's a double record. So if they're coming in early, you can say, but I got another side to hear. I haven't heard side 4 yet. So maybe your demise will get pushed off by about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. Sell your favorite artist to a new listener. Show an essential album and explain why they should take time for it. Well, that's toughy. I'm not a salesman, but I am a big Doug Somm fan. Doug Somm, of course, from San Antonio, Texas. This is the Sir Douglas Quintet. The album is called Mendocino. It was recorded in San Francisco in around 1968, I believe, on Smash Records. Doug had a long, successful career. He is like a garage rock man. He's a psych man. He's a country man, Tex-Mex, blues. He played it all. Plus, he's got this great, unique voice. So if you were interested, he's got a great, unique voice that is not sweet and pleasant. It's like, 9 miles of bad road. But a great individualist for sure. If you like, if you want to get into music and you like to explore different genres, pick out some Doug Somm's records because he does a variety of different genres on every album. So great artist. A really iconoclast. Like he's the type of guy that he went to Scandinavia for a tour. And during the tour, he met a pretty Norwegian girl or whatever, decided that he was not going to leave. He wasn't going to go back to the States. He ended up living in Norway, I think he lived outside of Oslo for about 1.5 years with that girl. And he went to record an album in Edmonton once. And he liked it so much in Alberta and Western Canada that he ended up staying for a couple of years and living in Canada. So that's the kind of guy he was, a real free spirit. Check him out, Sir Douglas Quintet, Mendocino. Check out his discography. Fantastic original artist. Next, last question. I had to make myself a martini for this different exercise. So cheers, guys. Whoa, that's good. Still cold after all this time. Number 20. You're arranging a VC meetup in 2026, excluding all the people you've already met. Invite 3 people you'd most like to meet. Oh, man. First of all, I am going to, I've always had this dream, or something I'd like to do is I'd like to arrange a big meetup of a lot of VC members in the UK. And probably like to do it somewhere in the, I'm going to say middle of the country. So Leeds, Birmingham, Manchester, somewhere around there, West Midlands, East Midlands, etc., etc. So if I have to pick three people I'd like to meet: Rob Walker, Mike Grogan, that's Mike PC31, Vinyl Policeman, and from Leeds, Mike Vinyl Spiral. So I think that's doable. I don't know if it's going to happen in 2026 because I'm long overdue for a visit to the UK. But I'm over in France a lot because I've got family there. And it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. But okay, I can't just stop at those three guys. I'd like to meet Pete. His channel sounds from the West Coast. John Bellamy, Stevie from Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard. John, of course, 6-inch pianist. He's from Birmingham. Gav Axman, another Brummie. And how about Nick from Nick's Vinyl Buddy Sandwich, and Berwickshire Mike. He's up on the northern coast. And of course, David Atkinson would be there. So that answers your question. I know I left a lot of people out that I'd like to meet as well, but I just had to expand that. Limiting me to 3 people, that's not fair. Come on, David. Anyways, David, thank you so much for those questions. Thank you to everybody that's watching this video. I am very close to 700 subs. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Give me a sub if you haven't subbed me up. Give me a like if you watch this video and you like what I did. And anyways, we're getting Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm going to do a video before Christmas wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. But I will say cheers. Thanks for watching, and till we meet again.